Hey, peace and love. How's it going? Um, Hi Johnny, how's it going? I'm Damali. Johnny, I'm Damali. I am the host of a TV show out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania called Acoustic Soul. Johnny, responding back to your email, your voicemail that you sent to Rush Limbaugh, um, because I find you highly unique. I was actually uh, berating Rush Limbaugh because people who support him, and even though you're sort of getting on his ass about his supporter Ron Paul, just to me appears to be a bigger asshole. I find that so fascinating that before I go to bed, I wanted to just ask you a few questions and say a few things to you, respond to your statement. Yeah, Rush Limbaugh did not support Ron Paul because um, that'd be funny, but Ron Paul just wasn't statistically going to win. And to be honest, come on, Rush Limbaugh is a whore. Politicians are whores. That's their job. To sit there and to sit there and get mad at a whore for being a whore is like getting mad at a cow for going moo. The fuck is he supposed to do? He's supposed to support the person he thinks is going to win because if he supports Ron Paul, who wasn't statistically designed to win, or even had a prayer winning, Rush's credibility would look like shit. Okay, and people like you wouldn't follow him. So he has to look like he's always supporting a winner, and therefore, if his winner comes through, he has that support. But you know what? That's not what I'm here to talk about. Fuck the rest of the I can't stand that little fucking fat racist bastard anyway. Okay? Here, I'm here to talk to you about your support of Ron Paul and conservatives because I don't understand. I'm been racking my brains trying to figure out why you people support him. I don't understand why you support conservatism to a certain extent. I've always said that I find conservatives to be basically driven by three things. Conservatives typically are cowards. Conservatives are typically greedy, and conservatives are typically racist. And these three things which fuel you guys. I get it. I don't understand it because I'm not from a rural area. I'm too educated and got too much pride in myself to be threatened by white people, so I don't understand why you white people are so threatened by black people or Hispanics, but it is what it is. But and speaking of it is what it is, you need to educate yourself. Okay, Johnny? Before you to support a candidate zealously, do some research about your environment. Because I'm going to put a thought in your head, and I hope this sinks through. You no longer... Okay, take Ron Paul. Ron Paul believes in it's called an Austrian form of economics, which means basically leave it the fuck alone, and it will always work itself out fine because it's more people driven than it is statistical driven. Might be true. Okay. I think to a certain extent that might have been true for years. I think that might have been a driving force behind a lot of America's power and things like that. No doubt about it. However, that Austrian form of economics, Johnny, is a couple hundred years old. Okay? The truth of the matter is that when they came up with that form of economics, it was designed for local, regional, and national economic platforms. It was never intended for a worldwide platform. I'm in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You are out there in, I don't know, East Bubblefuck Chiller Park, Heaven, USA somewhere. And yet, you could see me talking to you at 4 a.m. like it's nothing. I can easily be having this conversation with somebody in Pakistan. I can have this conversation with somebody over in Russia, China, Japan. Pick a country, I could do it. Why? Because of this thing right here, the internet. When they came up with a lot of these things, the internet wasn't in existence. You no longer have a national economy. We live in a world economy. And the fact that we're not understanding that blows my fucking mind. Why aren't you understanding that? Why? In a laissez-faire economy, why the fuck would they want to hire your fat ass to do a job for $15 an hour when they can get somebody over in Thailand to do it for 15 cents a day? Why? Why did they give a fuck if we buy their products or not? You lose your job and you can't buy their products, who gives a fuck? Because you know why? China has 1 billion people over there. China has over 1 billion people over there. India has close to 1 billion people over there. In 2 countries alone, they can more than make up the losses they receive here with their overseas sales. Those tariffs aren't that high enough to stop this process from happening because the numbers support it. Just sheer numbers. If you do things in large enough numbers and large enough bulk, the prices come down. And it's another lazy fair form of economics that's unstoppable. It's called the law of supply and demand. So therefore, who gives a fuck? And if you think I'm lying about that, just don't even have to look as far as your own country. Look at what the American auto industry is planning to do. So before you respond back to me, take 5 minutes, go on Google, look it up. They are streamlining the automobile industry to go worldwide. They're going to take away a lot of the bells and whistles which made their vehicles American made and American standards, American blah 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 blah, and they're now going with a more cookie cutter approach to sell their products worldwide. Because even though we build them out with our tax money, okay, because you know your man George Bush fucked that up, okay, we build them out with our tax money, and they're taking their product worldwide. They don't give a fuck if they sell another car here in North America. Look it up, read about it. Educate yourself. Then get on here and respond back to me if you want. Call me all kinds of, yeah, Damali, nigger, you're the problem. Go back to Africa, you black bastard, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I know. I've heard it 1,000,000 times. But before you just do it, I'm just asking you, take those 5 minutes. Do a little research. It's a world economy out here. No more national economy, Johnny. There isn't. Ron Paul is archaic. His policies would put us in the Stone Ages. He's going to make a process happen faster than it should happen. And by the way, here's the funny part: the richest people are going to have problems making this transition. They're too fucking stupid to realize this. Even on their end, they're greedy and they see other areas where they're going to make money. True. However, there's going to be a backlash here because some things that Ron was saying, does make sense as far as like the gold and silver standard of the dollar. But that's not going to happen under any other president, say him. And guess what? Even the president does not have the power to do so. The Congress has to do that, and nobody's gonna go for that shit. So therefore, even if he was the president of the United States, a lot of his policies that he would like to change, he can't. People blame the president for economic problems. A president cannot rescue an economic crisis. He's not in charge of the Federal Reserve. He does not set the interest rates. Okay? Most of the problems that happen in the economy can only be solved by the Congress. So even if your man Ron Paul got in there, all that crazy shit he wants to do, half of it wouldn't happen anyway. And most people know better than that. And I'm expecting you to sort of educate yourself and know better than that also. Alright? You're supposed to love your country. You're supposed to be a good old-fashioned redneck conservative. Then be a good redneck conservative. Support your country. Because your state, you think it's all about the states. Okay. Believe that if you want to. But even your state of Texas or where the fuck you're at is not enough to sustain itself. It will not be. There's just not enough natural resources, and there's not enough people there. There's not enough anything there to support yourself freely as a state. And you guys are trying to take down a strong federal government. And by the way, socialism is not a bad thing. All right, most people don't have medical care. If you're able to give people free to nothing medical care, you could drive the prices down, because if you're healthy, you need less medical care. Right now, most people don't have health insurance. So you know what they do when they get a cold or flu? They go to the ER and cost us $1,500 to $2,000 for something that could be fixed for $15 fucking dollars. Okay, let's be real about this. Our drugs. You want an open market? We can go get our drugs in Canada for fucking pennies on the dollar. We pay extra money here because it's all about the profit and the bottom line. They tell you it's because it's some of the different standard. You're being bullshitted. Wake up. You're a poor person. I can tell by the lipstick on your lips and the way you talk. Their government is not for you. Okay? The government is the rich people. The Tea Parties and the Republicans are not for you. They're for the upper 2%. And unless you're in the upper 2% bracket, shut the fuck up. Educate yourselves. You got family to think about. You got kids, grandkids to think about. Think about them for real. Educate yourself and then make an informed decision. Okay? And then come back here and call me all kinds of you black bastard, you messing up the country and my blah 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 blah. All right, but before you say that shit, look it up. There.